Hello students, yes, I am Savitri Kesaria. Last lecture we had studied about Lewis theory of unlimited supply of labor, where I had said you that yes, this model has served to explain the development or transformation process of underdeveloped and highly populated economy, but still there are certain assumptions which were very unrealistic, and because of that the model faced many criticism which we will take in this lecture. So as you know, Lewis model was based on dual sector, where he assumed that economy will be having two sectors, as you know, subsistence and capitalistics. Now subsistence sector say labor will move to capitalist sector in search of more wages, because here MPL is 0, and capitalist sector because the wages is available at a constant wage rate which is higher than the rural wage rate. The capitalist sector will continuously expand, reinvest, and because of reinvestment and expansion, the more and more labor will be employed and more output will be produced by the economy, and the surplus labor which was not being used properly in subsistence sector will be used in capitalist sector more productively. That Lewis wanted to present or presented by Lewis, but there were certain criticism faced by this model which we will discuss in detail. So first criticism faced by Lewis theory of unlimited supply of labor, that it has lots of unrealistic assumptions. Assumptions like that there are existence of dual sectors, like in reality there are many sectors prevailing in the economy. Second, the assumption that marginal product of labor in subsistence sector is 0, which is not reality, or it is not true to say that marginal productivity of labor in any sector can be 0 like that, because it is not proved empirically by the Lewis that marginal productivity of subsistence sector is 0. It's not proved by him. He just assumed that marginal productivity is 0 because the laborers are illiterate and they are in abundant quantity, so their productivity will be 0. But that was not a true. Second, not applicable if capital accumulation is labor saving. He assumed that whatever profit or whatever surplus is earned by capitalist sector, that is reinvested in economy again or industrial sector again, and because of that they need more labor and demand for labor will increase. But this will not hold true if the technology or the capital which they are using, which industrial sector is using, is labor saving or labor replacing. For example, they are using machines which are requiring less manpower or automatic equipments, then the usefulness of labor will be less. So obviously the requirement for labor to run that capital or use that capital will be low, because that technology itself is labor saving. For example, a superpower computer can replace so many human beings. So definitely the requirement for labor will be less if that capital accumulation which they are proposing is labor saving. See, the whole process is explained by such small, I am just explaining with a small diagram. This is a supply curve for labor, and this will be the demand at D1, K1. But assume that capital accumulation goes from K1 to K2 because of reinvestment of profit. But because of reinvestment of profit, if capital accumulation go, but in some cases suppose they are using labor saving technology, then if they are using labor saving technology, then the demand curve will, instead of shifting, it will be inward sloping, that is D2, K2 will be something like this, and the labor demand will be same at OL1. So instead of having shifting demand curve, we can have demand curve like this. So in that case, the demand for labor is not increasing despite of the fact that capital stock has increased. So it is unrealistic, or it is not true that always the capital accumulation will lead to labor demand and more expansion. No, if the capital which is increased is labor saving or labor replacing, definitely it will not require more laborers, or it will not create more employment. So that transformation or expansion process there will be stopped. Third criticism was that it is one-sided theory. Why it is one-sided theory? Because Lewis has assumed that the development process will result because of migration from subsistence sector to the capital sector, and industrial sector or capital sector expanding and creating employment and output. But here he forgot, or he didn't take into account about the growth of agriculture sector, because no economy can just have lopsided growth or lopsided development where one sector is developing and other sector is remaining as it is. Because if industrial sector develop or expand, definitely for raw material and food they require the development of agriculture also. So it is wrong to, or it is he didn't take into account about the agriculture sector growth. So that was again proved that it is only one-sided theory, concentrating much on the capitalist sector and ignoring the growth and development process of agriculture sector. Third criticism was that limited supply of skilled labor. He assumed that the supply of labor will be unlimited just because the countries which he take into account are having high population and labor is available in huge quantity. But the only assumption is here, he didn't take into account, that is the skilled labor. Whatever labor is available does not necessarily meet the requirement of industrial sector, because industrial sector require a particular set of skills which may not be possessed by the laborers which are working in the traditional sector. First thing. Second thing, even if they are not requiring and even if they are not having that skills and they want to give them training and they want to make them competent enough so that it can be absorbed by industrial sector, then also it takes time. It is not that easy process as it is assumed by Lewis. Lewis assumed that the limited supply of skilled labor is a temporary phenomena or temporary bottlenecks, because after training and after skill enhancement the laborer will be easy to migrate or easily absorbed by industrial sector. But in reality this process of migration or this process of moving from one sector to other sector is not that easy, and it requires lots of time and cost to make the supply of skilled labor. So it is wrong to say that supply of labor, of skilled labor is unlimited. It is limited in nature. So that curve which is perfectly inelastic or perfectly elastic, that is not appropriate notion. Then lack of entrepreneurs. He assumed that whatever profit or whatever surplus is earned by entrepreneur, that will be reinvested and will not be used for any lavish consumption, which is again not true, because whatever profit, whatever they earn may not be reinvested, and even if they are reinvesting, that class of entrepreneur which will reinvest and use it for the purpose of demanding more labor and more expansion is not necessarily available, because some entrepreneurs may get into speculative activities which will result in again short supply of output and employment. So does not necessarily they will reinvest the whole profit. Then neglects total demand. Here they have assumed that capitalist sector demand labor from the subsistence sector, and that is why the transformation process is happening. But here they didn't take into account demand by industrial sector from agriculture sector or demand from agriculture sector for industrial sector. So he didn't he didn't think about total demand. He just understood that yes, industrial sector will expand and they will consume all the goods in that sector itself or will export it. but it is not a real case, because industrial goods will be used by agriculture sector and agriculture goods will be used by industrial sector. So when you are taking any development into account, you have to think, or you have to talk about both the sector and not one sector. So you have to consider total demand, not the partial demand. Then productivity falls with migration of labor. See, if labor is getting migrated from subsistence sector to the subsistence sector to the capitalist sector, Lewis assumed that production will not be affected, or output of subsistence sector will be as it is, because there are laborers who are having MPL 0. But no, it is not true, because it is observed by many economics like Schulz. He said that if a 5% labor also migrate from one sector to other, that from agriculture sector to the capitalist sector, production will definitely affected. Production or output will be definitely affected. So basic assumption that marginal productivity is 0 is totally not true, because even if any country, any underdeveloped country, he has produced empirical evidence and suggested that even if 5% labor moves from one sector to other, definitely output of that sector, particularly agriculture sector, will fall. So it is not true that productivity will not be affected in case of migration from one sector to other sector. No, productivity of agriculture will suffer, output will be reduced if there is migration from that sector to other sector. Okay, so hopefully these criticisms are understood by you very well, and see you in the next class. Thank you.